over the years, I tend to empathize and sympathize a lot with a lot of women who have gone through miscarriages, and more with women who have gone through the actual process of delivering a stillborn. Right now, there is a case in Warren, Ohio that literally has set me off in a way that I don't even know how to just even get this information out. It's like, I don't know what I can do. I don't know how I can help. But there is a young woman by the name of Brittany Watts from Warren, Ohio, that had a stillborn that has now led to criminal charges against her because of her delivering her stillborn at home. And the issue is that the baby was in the toilet. Now, this young lady, apparently from many different sources, from people testifying in court, that there was no harm to the fetus. She gave birth to this baby at home. She had previously been to the hospital. They told her that this was not going to be a viable pregnancy, and they sent her home. And that's frustrating as a woman who has literally gone to the hospital, gone in thinking that I'm going to deliver my baby. They kept me. They let me know that my baby was not going to be viable, that there was no heartbeat for my baby. And I was forced into active labor, and I had to deliver my child literally within a couple of hours. So the fact that these representatives at these hospitals have let this woman go home with no information, I'm not even going to say that, possibly or allegedly with no information because her water broke, but it was too early for her to deliver. But they knew that this pregnancy wasn't going to be viable. They sent her home. She delivered this baby in her home, probably alone, and probably was given no instruction on what to do if she was delivered this baby at home. The only reason that this happened is that she delivered the baby in the toilet, tried to flush, and then she had a hemorrhage to where she had to go to the hospital. But now the only reason, and they found the baby at home because she had the baby at home on her own. What was she supposed to do? Did she even have the knowledge? Was she traumatized? Do you put that into account, that what happens of delivering a stillborn child? And I don't think people realize what this means when it comes to delivering a stillborn baby. Because I didn't have assistance, honestly, when my baby came. But I was in a hospital setting to the point that I caught my child. I caught my child when I delivered. But the frustration just keeps going to the fact that this woman has lost her child. Not only that, the trauma that she had to deliver this child that was stillborn. And now she has to be led up on criminal charges because of this. And this is really a mom's worst fear. And this goes back to just the point, like, protect Black women when it comes to these things. Like, there's literally a GoFundMe for this woman because they're trying to find help for her to get legal fees, for her medical bills, for her trauma counseling, for home repairs, because of all of this situation. And all of this is going on all at one time. Even in the same breath that she still has to grieve her child. On top of this, now she's being accused of abuse of a corpse because she delivered her baby at home and probably with no information to what happened. It's frustrating. It's so frustrating. And there's so many programs that help and prevent these stillbirths. And even with the information, if they knew that this was viable, if this wasn't going to be a viable pregnancy for her, there's programs like Count the Kicks that have apps to where you can count fetal movement, that she could have counted down to the moment to where she could feel when this wasn't going to be viable for her anymore. Or if she was back in active labor, she would have been able to know that she needs to call for help. But she went to this hospital twice prior to her delivering this baby, and they continued to send her home. So who's at fault here? Is it her fault? Is it the hospital's fault? Is it the physician's fault? Like, who's at fault here? Because literally, Ohio specifically loses 822 babies a year on average to stillbirth. Their stillbirth rate is 6.14 per 1,000 lives. And with programs like Count the Kicks, they can save up to 263 babies per year. Now, this baby, I'm sure at some point, this was a viable pregnancy for her. But if prior to that, she probably would have been able to save her baby. If there was proper education, and they have the resources that this stuff can be given out for free in the state of Ohio. So why didn't this help? Why didn't these providers have some sort of something for her to be able to notice what's going on? Because this is just, it's so frustrating. And as a mom who's delivered a stillborn, it is frustrating that I would think that even if this happened to me, what would have happened to me if this happened to me while I was at home? And this happened to me because, graphic as it can be, my son, when he came out, it came out with no problem. Like, I felt a push, I felt pressure, and he came out on his own, and I caught him. I caught my son's lifeless body in a hospital bed. So just to think what she went through, and that she actually had to deliver this baby on a toilet. One of the medical examiners testified and said that there were no injuries had been committed to this fetus, further stating that the fetus had died naturally before passing through the birth canal. She went to her physician, was told that their pregnancy couldn't survive and she would miscarry. She was bleeding and the pain from the impending miscarriage got severe. She did the same thing that many women do who miscarry at home. She went into her bathroom and she miscarried in her toilet and she flushed her. Said a nurse from St. Joe's called 911 after Watts came. They're suffering life-threatening hemorrhaging that later leading police to investigate and charging Watts, who had no previous criminal history, with a felony offense. And at this point, this baby, they're trying to now just determine the exact legal status of this fetus, corpse, body, birthing tissue, whatever it is. And this came from Warren's Municipal Court Judge Terry Ivanchak, and felt that there was probable cause for this case to be bound over to a grand jury of a mother who miscarried a baby. Women miscarry in toilets every day, per this article. And if the state of Ohio expects these women to fish those remains from the toilet and deliver them to a hospital, a funeral home, or a crematorium, the laws need to be changed. And that's per her attorney. I pray that she gets the justice that she needs pertaining to this, because to grieve and then be charged about the death of your child that you passed through your body that you had no control over. No control over. This literally rests in the hands of a jury of people of her peers. And she may be charged because of this for her body doing what a body does. It's natural for a woman to pass a baby through, life or not. And to experience it is rough. To experience it hurts. You see that face, you see that memory. And now to be put on trial for something that you had no control over. Oh my God. My heart goes out to her so much. So much. Like, there's PTSD that comes behind this. There's so much that comes from behind this. Like, there's no reason why this should even be a situation to where she has to deal with this. Because what is the proper proceedings if you have a stillbirth at home? What are you supposed to do? No one prepares you for that. Nobody has a clue. So what are we supposed to do? This is where healthcare and education fail us as women, as mothers, as parents, that we have to have these babies. We get to the point that we have to have these babies. There's no education there. And especially a piece for being there's so much that surrounds us that we are still very unknowledgeable about. Because again, who would have to be responsible for ultimately the disposal, the care of this child? Because if I had a stillborn, am I going to have to be responsible for carrying my baby to a funeral home? Am I going to have to be responsible for me carrying my baby to a hospital? Who's supposed to report that? Because even in the same breath, we've got facilities all across this country who don't even report stillbirths accurately in this country. So what are we supposed to do to protect these women who have stillbirths and protect these fetuses, blood tissue, babies, whatever that people want to call them? Because I consider them a child. I grew a child in my body. This is my baby. And what am I supposed to do if I can't protect this baby? If this pregnancy is not viable for me, or this pregnancy is not viable for my wife, what are we supposed to do in the event that something like this happens? My heart really goes out to Brittany Watts. I am going to put her GoFundMe in the link. I will also put the link to this story for people to read. But it's just, again, it's so frustrating that she has not even been given a moment to grieve, because she is now possibly going to be in jail, prosecuted, because she did what her body naturally is supposed to do, and that's to give birth. This is going to be the end of this episode, and I just wanted to get this out because it's been on me for a couple of weeks. I've been waiting on updates, wanting to see updates. But right now, it's in the hands of the grand jury of Warren County, and I pray that everybody involved in this matter will drop this case, because there's no reason that a woman should be prosecuted for this. There's no reason a woman should be prosecuted for this. That's it. It's another episode of Journey from Infertility to Me. I'm your girl, Lindsay, and I'll see you next time.